How's it going, Interactive Lifestyle Newsletter people? This is the very first Q&A session. We're going to be doing these puppies every Wednesday. So if you hit reply to any one of our newsletter emails and type in any question under the sun you have about health, fitness, how to reach your goals, how to overcome obstacles, we're going to answer them right here in this video, and we're going to post it every Wednesday. This being the first one, I shot an email out early this morning, so I got just a handful of replies, which is good. This should be quick, short. We're going to talk about how to work out if you're dealing with back injuries. We're going to be talking about how much strength training as opposed to cardio you should be doing if the goal is physique enhancement, and a few other things. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, the first question I got is from Amber, and she asked me, what do I know about working out after a back injury? And it sounds like she's had some pretty extensive surgery and things like that here. So first off, let me say that I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on the internet. This is well above my scope. That being said, I've dealt with back issues myself. I have mild scoliosis, and after I've worked with literally hundreds of individuals, back problems these days is kind of par for the course. First and foremost, you got to talk to your physician. If they give you the go-ahead and workout, beautiful. Chances are, if you're post-op, right, you got screws and things like that going on, you're going to be working with a physical therapist at first. Now, it looks like Amber's about a year out from surgery, so she's probably gone through all that. And again, if the doc said go ahead and work out, work out. But here's the thing. What I see people with back pain and back injuries and surgeries is you're definitely going to keep the impact low, meaning you're not going to be doing a lot of jumping and bounding, and you're not going to be loading the spine up with a ton of weight like with heavy barbell training. Okay, you're going to be doing light dumbbell, kettlebell, body weight work, and you're definitely going to want to place the focus on building up the rear chain and the core. And when you're building up the core, remember to focus on core bracing type activities, planking variations, weighted carries, things like that, because the core's primary purpose is to stabilize the midsection, stabilize the spine, not all this flexion stuff that a lot of the more just purely aesthetically focused programs would have you do. And when I say work on the rear chain being every muscle group in the back of the body, from your heels to your head, right? So you're going to want to build up the hamstrings, you want to build up the glutes, you want to build up the spine erectors of the lower back and the upper back. You're going to be doing a lot of rowing, a lot of hip hinging, right? Things like this, because these are the muscles that, again, stabilize the spine and keep you upright. And you're going to have to really ease into this, okay? It sounds like, Amber, you're coming off a very serious surgery. You're not going to be able to walk into the gym and start deadlifting a house right off the bat. Again, you're probably going to have to start with very lightweight and body weight exercises, okay? Core work, rear chain. And if that sounds like a bit of a foreign concept for you, we can always get together and discuss it more in depth, okay? So let's go on to the next question. Let me see here. Cool. So Kathy is asking, I completed my very first 5-10K back-to-back races a few weeks ago at the Disneyland Half Marathon weekend. My goal now is to do a 10K or a half marathon back-to-back next Labor Day weekend. Okay, so we got some time to build up to this, which is a very good thing if you're looking at a half marathon. How would you advise I work up to a half marathon from a 10K? Well, I'll tell you, Kathy, from my perspective, there's a lot of programs out there built specifically for this, building up from one distance to the next. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not the endurance sport expert. But what I can tell you is this, from working with a ton of endurance athletes, is that I would recommend looking for a minimalist approach to building your mileage. And by that I mean what a lot of endurance athletes will do is plan their training for just 3 days a week, where 2 trainings are shorter, more intense, interval or speed work, which is what a lot of endurance athletes will do, and they'll have one long steady day where they're concentrating on increasing their mileage incrementally so that they're hitting that mileage that they need to hit for the event to come, right? And again, if you're looking at endurance sports, there's tons of free plans already out there. Now, the one caveat I'd add to that is I would avoid running every single day of the week, because cumulative stress injuries due to the repetitive nature of running is super common. I've seen compressed discs, screwed up knees galore from putting in excessive miles. What I would do, again, go with that minimalist approach with 3 days a week, 2 intense speed work days, and 1 long steady day where you build your mileage. On the days in between for 2 days, you're gonna wanna cross train with some full body functional strength training, particularly for the rear chain. Again, I'm going back to that rear chain because these are the muscle groups that keep you upright, and these are the muscle groups that get neglected in our day-to-day lives. You're driving to work, you're working at a desk, you're sitting down, hips are getting tight, and then you go running, right? Which tends to be a quad dominant sport for a lot of people, and it just exacerbates the problem. And then your knees start to hurt, your lower back starts to ache first thing in the morning, and that's when things just go horribly awry. You get hurt, you don't build the mileage, and you don't reach your goal of being able to do that half marathon. So you're gonna be, again, you're gonna be working the rear chain, the glutes, the hamstrings, the lower back, the upper back, especially to keep the body in balance and moving properly so that you can put those miles in ache, pain, and injury free, okay? So that is my recommendation. Minimalist approach, cross-train with strength training, emphasize that rear chain. All right, let's move on. I got one more person here, and she's actually got a couple questions. And these questions are from Lily, who sounds like a pretty hardcore exercise enthusiast that has some very serious physique or aesthetic goals, okay? Let me read this real quick. I currently work out 5 to 6 times a week for 30 minutes each workout, okay? 2 to 3 of those workouts are with weights, and mostly cardio workouts 3 to 4 times. I've been reading a lot of articles implying that we get most results doing weights and not cardio. Should I switch it up to do weights 4 times a week and 2 times cardio? Should I spend more than 30 minutes each training session? I know sometimes the longer we work out is not necessarily helping. Could I make the time? I could make the time. Okay, so let's address that right there. Lily, absolutely the research supports that you are gonna get far more results in a shorter amount of time with strength training as opposed to cardio. That doesn't mean cardio is not useful. The optimal frequency for the vast majority of people when it comes to strength training is 3 to 4 days a week. If you're doing a 3-day split, as in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, non-consecutive days, for women with a physique goal, I've seen phenomenal results with 3 full body workouts. Now, if you really like the strength training aspect and you want to add that 4th day, I suggest going to an A-B split, either splitting the body up into pressing and pulling or upper and lower, because doing full body workouts 4 days a week tends to not allow for enough recovery time between. Okay, so yes, emphasize the strength training. It's going to be far more productive. Now, with your cardio sessions, you could easily stagger a 3-day strength training with 3 days of cardio, or 2 days of cardio with 4 days of strength training. That's no problem. Also, if you can handle it, try to transition at least 2 of your cardio days into something that's going to be shorter and more intense, right? Like interval training. Okay, you're doing short intervals of say anywhere from 30 seconds to as long as a minute or 2 of intense all-out efforts, followed by a short 1 to 2 minute break, and then going right back at it. Keep that intense part of the workout down to about 10 to 15 minutes with a little bit of 5-minute light jog in the beginning just to get you warm. And again, the research shows that the high intensity interval style training just mobilizes fat better, raises that VO max. So if you're looking for actual performance gains as well as aesthetic gains, it's better in that regard too, and it condenses your workout time. As far as the 30-minute workout time, I love it. Keep it. Longer is not always better, particularly when it comes to strength training. Strength training is not a marathon, it's a sprint, right? Short, intense efforts is the name of the game. Now, I tend to take about 45 minutes with my strength training, but 10 to 15 minutes of that is a very thorough warm-up because I got a lot of aches, pains, and injuries from training like an idiot when I was a kid, and it's just necessary for me to do that, okay? And I think there's just one more. Yes. I also recently heard that dinner should be the smallest meal of the day. Is that true? No, it's not. That whole thing got started with a lot of bodybuilders and physique athletes. And the thought process behind it was, okay, you're more active during the day. It makes sense to have larger meals during the day when you're going to burn it off. And in the evening, you're generally just getting ready to go to bed. And if you eat a bunch at night, then you're just going to turn it all into fat. And that's not true. What's most important is hit those calories, hit those macros for the day, especially if you have a physique goal. Those macros are important. How you distribute those throughout the day, yeah, it can make a difference when you're on the home stretch, when you're trying to get off that last 5 to 10 pounds and really dial in that body to look as best you possibly can. But dealing with meal timing or micronutrient timing throughout your day isn't really a big deal until you're really, really close to the goal. If you're hitting your calories and macros for the day, beautiful. Don't freak out. You can still have a substantial dinner. You can still enjoy carbohydrates at night without screwing up your physique, as long as, again, you're hitting your calories and macros for the day. So that wraps it up for our very first Q&A. I hope you all found that informative and useful. If you did, share this with your friends. Share the newsletter with your friends who are also, health and fitness minded. And below this video, I'll put a little link where you can go over and check out our webpage for our little gym. If you're looking for some guidance to work directly with a trainer in a small group environment, I'd love to be able to help you out. And I usually do a cool little thing like a 1 or 2 week trial for people to really check it out and see if it's a good fit for them. So if you think that might be something that's of value to you, just click the link below this video. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow, which is Thursday, where we'll have our healthy recipe coming your way. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.